Hello. So today we have a really cool video. I'm super excited because we have some products to try out from the brand Flower Nose. I do have a different camera setup today, so I'm actually watching myself back on the camera, on the mirror that I do my makeup in. So if you see me looking over, that's what I'm looking at, but I'm going to try to stay looking at the camera. But I actually picked up 3 of their blushes, and then I picked up 1 of their highlighters. And this brand is like not a brand that I think aesthetically I would normally gravitate towards, because it just seems like really ornate, and I would have liked this like maybe 10 years ago, but I just had to try it. It looked so pretty and so beautiful. This is the highlighter in the shade Revelation, and it's like an angel collection, which speaks to me. I named my daughter Seraphina, which is after the seraphim, which is a type of angel, so I personally love that. And if you see, like, the detail of this is so beautiful. So first, let me mention the packaging. This packaging is really ornate. It's super pretty, but it is like it's a plastic packaging, right? So if you go into this expecting it to be like the weight, or sort of like feeling something like maybe like a Westman Atelier, like let me show you. Westman Atelier packaging is some of the heaviest packaging I own, right, of high-end products. So like this is the bronzer from Westman Atelier, and this is so heavy. It's literally a paperweight of a product. Now these are not like that. They're very ornate, but not in a heavy way. They're definitely plastic. And so I think that that's really interesting, right? Because it is still super lightweight, but it's got a lot of ornateness. And I imagine that it's able to keep the budget cost for this incredibly detailed packaging down, because it's kind of crazy. But the Revelation, I only got 1 of the highlighters, but the Revelation, like, it literally has words in there. I mean, it has so much detail. And I swatched this and it's still there. Like, it's a really heavy kind of raised, and then it's embossed. I mean, there's so much going on there. So very detailed. I really like it. And then with the Circus blushes, oh my gosh, these are like so gorgeous. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. I can't believe how pretty these are. Okay, so I did of course swatch these. I'm planning to try everything on, and I kind of have a plan for that. So I'm gonna do the darkest blush as sort of my bronzing kind of back of the cheek blush, and then the 2 lighter ones in the front. And I wanted to show, so let's start with the first one. This is the darkest. This one has the least difference between the top shade and the bottom shade, and these are ombre. And then that is this swatch right here. It's the first swatch. This is shade number 6, and it's called Dusk. This one, I was really thinking of like a rosy bronzer for me, and that's how I'm going to use it today. Then the next one we have is by far the most interesting of the blushes. This is shade 1. And this is called Blue Moonlight. And this is a blue shade and an orange shade. And then mixed together, you get sort of a coral shade. Hopefully that's coming up. That's that middle one here. And it really does not read heavily blue. I was kind of like wondering, like, is it going to be blue? It just seems so interesting to me. But it's blue and orange, and you get this sort of peachy shade. I'm interested to see if it shifts blue on the cheeks at all. These are all matte from what I can see. All of these blush shades are matte. Then the last one, which arguably is the prettiest in the compact, but the one I sort of like least from the swatches, this is shade 2, which is Orchid Gem. And I would not call this an orchid shade at all. It kind of goes from a really soft peachy pink to a brighter pink. And then sort of what that accomplishes in the swatch is this really, it's almost hard to see, a really, really, really milky pink that's going on there. Okay, so those are the 3 shades that I have in the blush. And I do think there's a couple more shades, but I did not pick them up. Sorry, I just moved you. But I did, yeah, this one is like the darkest shade. And then they all have like different, tops. So the shade Dusk is like this purpley tone. The shade Blue Moonlight has this like blue with a backing that is sort of this like taupey shade. And then the shade number 2, which is the Orchid Gem, that has that purple heart. So pretty. And then the last one that I swatched is this Revelation, and this was the one that like spoke to me the most because it looked the most sort of neutral, but all of these were beautiful. They were just a little bit more expensive, so I decided to like hold off on them. But this is the Revelation, and that is this last swatch here. That looks so beautiful. I cannot wait to get this on my cheek and my eyes. I do have eye makeup on, but I was planning to sort of top up my eyeshadow with this highlighter. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna start with the rosy blush, and then we are going to, I keep looking at, sorry, I keep looking to make sure I'm like in focus on the mirror. So we will start with the number 6 Dusk. And this is like an indie brand. The Flower Nose brand is an indie brand out of China. It is really hard to find websites that sell it. None of the websites are in English. The website that I found this on, it no longer carries any of these. I guess they were like maybe limited edition, or just they had a stock and then they sold it out. I'm just really posting this because I'm excited about it. Hopefully it goes to more retailers, but it does seem like they have limited edition collections. They sell out and they're done, but it doesn't, like, there's tons of collections they've had that look super beautiful, but it looks like, you know, maybe if you like what this looks like, you can pick up another collection that they have. So I'm going to use this Morphe times Ariel. It's the A3.2, or is it? Yeah, that's what it says, A3.2. I thought they were 32, but so I'm just going to pick up between both colors there, tap off, and then I am going to put this at the back of my cheek, and hopefully we can see that. So this is going to be like that sort of bronzing blush shade for me. It is definitely rosy toned. It doesn't really come up, hopefully it's showing, it's not coming up that purple, but a little bit rosy. I really like how that looks. This is really pretty. It looks very dark in the pan, but it's not that dark. Now I'm just going to keep this back here because I want to save the front for those really light ones. It's super beautiful. Okay, I'm going to lightly put that across my forehead as well because I am sort of using it in the capacity of a warming product, but it's a plummy warming product, right? I don't know what my hair is sticking to today. Oh, it's coming from over here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that looks really nice and subtle as a bronzer. I'm gonna put a little bit of that on my nose. Because it's matte, you kind of can use it all over the face, right? All right, so then we're gonna go into, so that was again Dusk number 6. I mean, this is beautiful. I love that as that sort of back of the cheek color. I think that looks super pretty. All right, then we're gonna go into the shade. We're gonna do Orchid Gem on this side because I really want you guys to see the blue orange one on this one. Okay, so this is the lightest shade. It's funny because this is the one like I right away was like, oh, I really should get that, but I actually think it's like my least favorite from the swatch. So let's see what it does on the cheek. So I'm gonna go over both colors. You can see that on the brush, and I tap that off a little bit. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. Hopefully that's coming up. It's actually super brightening. I was really surprised. I did not think I was gonna like that color. I love how that's looking against my eye color. Oh, that's really pretty. And then I'm going to blend it back into that rosy shade, the Dusk shade. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. Hopefully you can see that. So that is that sort of milky pink. Definitely, I don't know how this color would do on a medium to deep skin tone, but on my very fair skin or on a light skin tone, it's like that kind of light pink that's giving you a little bit of brightness. Okay, that color looks gorgeous. Now let's do the blue Moonlight. The more I hold the packaging, I do like it a lot. Okay, I'm gonna try and, I'm going over it just the same way I did the other ones, and I'm getting that blue and that orange. I mean, how, have you ever seen a blue and orange blush before? But it really doesn't seem like it comes up blue, so let's see what happens here. It's beautiful. It's giving me this like soft coral peach, but it's interesting because with that blue, you know that blue is gonna cool a color down. So, but I don't really see that much coolness coming through it. Like this one over here is much cooler than this one, even though this has legit blue. I don't know what kind of magic that is. So this one is definitely more on the coral side, but still like between the number 1, which is, or number 2, between the number 2 Orchid Gem on this side and then Blue Moonlight on this side, this one is just a kiss more pink and a little bit more milky, right? But then this one just has a little bit more on the peachy side, but they're both so beautiful and they are matte. So very matte and in a way that's extremely flattering. Like they're not defining any texture. I do have on the Milk Hydro Grip Primer because I'm trying that out, the new set from Sephora, but it's looking beautiful on my pores and I really think that's because this matte formula, and then I'm going to go in and highlight, but wow, that is super beautiful. Hopefully you can see that. I'm really hoping because I have this flipped around, I'm hoping my camera on the back is much better. I'm going to show you guys what this really looks like because in real life that's looking gorgeous. All right, let's go into the Revelations, or is it Revelation? Revelation. And it says on here, it says angel kind of like all around. Hopefully you can see that. I like that so much. I actually don't know what it says in the writing here. I wish I could read it. I mean, it looks like it's written in English, but I'm not sure what it says. Okay, so I'm expecting this to be really pigmented. I'm going in with my A14, again from Makeup by Ariel times Morphe. I really like these brushes. Okay, so that is incredibly pigmented. I'm gonna not even tap back into the other one. Wow. Okay, hopefully you can see that. And I'm gonna feather it off a little bit, feather it out. Wow. This is a really beautiful shade. Again, that's that like kind of champagne shade. I just figured it would look super neutral. It almost looks like a peachy champagne, but definitely more on the champagne side. Okay, it does have a little bit of glitter to it, but in a tasteful way. Okay, hopefully you can see that. That looks super pretty. I almost want to grab just a touch more to go over. So what I learned with this is like a little bit goes a long way, right? Let's put a little bit more on my Cupid's bow. Hopefully you can see that. Sorry, I keep looking at the mirror. That once you kind of blend that out, I think that looks so pretty on the cheek. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is quick go over that with the blush brush that I used, just to kind of marry that together. And since I kept that really high, I'm still not having any like texture showing on my cheek. I think that looks so pretty. I love kind of that rosy shade in the back. I think that's looking super beautiful. Oh, and I wanted to put Revelation on my eyes. So let's do that really quickly. Let me grab a little flat brush. This is the A19 from Makeup by Ariel. Oh my gosh, as to be expected, super beautiful topper. Hopefully that's showing how like incredibly reflective and pretty that's looking. I mean, this eye look was already really pretty, but I just wanted to see if it would kick it up a little bit, and it did. Wow. And it like glided on so smoothly. It's not like accentuating texture at all. Hopefully you can see that. And then I want to put just a little bit of this in my inner corner. I'm trying not to mess up the design, but the design is so like well sculpted out that it doesn't really seem like it's that easy to mess it up. Like it's gonna take a lot of use to really get rid of that design. Okay, I think that looks super pretty. So again, this is the brand Flower Nose. I would say if you can't find these ones right now, just keep your eye on it, keep your eye on new releases. It would be convenient if I could read the language that these are written in, but I'm just going to keep trying to search for them because these are so pretty. I could see trying to get some more of these blushes for sure. Alright, thanks for watching.